Okay, let's get into it. First, you're going to need to run to the dollar store. Remember all those old ketchup and mustard bottles from the 1950s and all those cool diners that we used to go to? Yeah, grab a bunch of those. They're going to make great tree trunks. Now we're looking for tall tree trunks, so think the ancient forest of Mirkwood, the old forests of the planet Ariadna, or planet Dawn of the Ariadna faction in Infinity. Think of Endor. Now you're going to need glue gun, you're going to need a sharp object to cut all this stuff, and you're going to need to use some wood glue or whatever glue you can that'll make this stay onto this plastic foam board that you're going to buy. You know, grab a few rocks from outside, do whatever you can, glue everything down, and wait. I know you're going to want to get into it and start crafting right away, but give it a good day to dry. Trust me, in the long run this will be worth it. So, waiting time. Yep, I know, it's cool. Let's wait. Okay, now go find some spackle. Go to Home Depot, grab it in a tube. I like because you can make these cool tree marks, tree vines, whatever you want to call them. The quality in the trees are going to look so amazing by using this. And this part, take your time. Grab some popsicle sticks, some Q-tips, everything you can, and really kind of spread it out. Really, this is going to be the basis of your forest board, so you're going to want to spend the most time here making it kind of feel real as best you can. Here's some pictures of what it looks like, and you're going to have to let this one dry too, so another waiting time there. Okay, now grab some paper towels and some glue and some water, mix it in a bowl. These bowls we found at the dollar store too, so a lot of our supplies here we did find at the dollar store. And just start covering everything, pushing it down, kind of sculpting it a little bit, giving it a feel. It's going to reinforce a lot of the structures here, so this is going to be great. We used a spray bottle to kind of spray down some of the stuff and keep it wet. And then, you know, grab some carving tools and some pens and just start carving out the foam. This is, again, the most time you're going to want to be spending with this board is now in the beginning stages, where you are kind of laying out all the future parts of this board. So here, my fellow adventurer kind of got really creative with kind of just this hole in the ground that, you know, evil spirits were coming out of, or, you know, maybe something was growing from inside the tree or trying to work its way out. Now go outside, grab some sand, sift it, and get some finer sand, or just run to the store and grab some play sand, and then use a water and glue mix and start putting some sand down on your board. Again, here are these finer details. We haven't started painting, we haven't started anything yet. This is just kind of getting it to the point where we can now prime it black. Sponge brushes are your friends. Don't use regular brushes, they'll just get destroyed. And then two, grab, once you've primed it, I like to take it over a spray paint coat of black just to kind of help get some of those spots that you missed. Remember, foam does melt under spray paint if you use it up close, so make sure you use it far. And then we're grabbing a dark brown and we're kind of giving everything a heavy dry brush. And the rocks and the stones, we're doing kind of a darker gray, heavy dry brush. And now for the ground, it's more of a tannish brown that we're going to be using. Again, heavy dry brush at these early stages. And then from then we're just going to dry brush at different levels, you know, heavy, medium to light, of course. We're aiming for highlights. You're going to find a lot of great details. All of that work that we spent on the beginning stages of the board, this is where it pays off and starts to come to life. So really enjoy this part of it. Dry brushing always makes things pop. I love this part of making a board. Okay, now we're going to take some tacky glue, or you could use some, you know, any kind of craft glue here, and we're laying down some green flock. Now remember, this is a forest, so there's going to be a lot of underbrush, there's going to be a lot of grass. You're going to want to make this messy. We basically we covered the entire board with flock, and then we used brushes to kind of like carve out paths. It gave it a really fun look, and honestly, it turned out great. I'm very happy with how the flocking turned out on this board. We did then add kind of a dead grass on top to kind of give it more. Remember, forest, you know, take a stroll out in your local forest or anywhere, you know, or rewatch Star Wars Return of the Jedi a bunch of times just to kind of get the feel of it. You're going to want to mix the dead grass, regular grass, live grass. You're going to want to make this board just come alive. Remember, it's a forest, so it's going to be heavy and thick. Not many people have tread through this forest, and your adventurers are going to be the first, or your infinity characters have landed in a remote part of the planet. Use all kinds of different flocks. I think we used probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 different flocks that we just had on hand from different projects. Throw it on here and just, it's going to blend nicely no matter what you use. And if some parts, you know, you want to have some open areas, just grab that brush and just start moving the flock around while it's still wet. You're going to get a really cool effect of, like, you know, trampled forest paths. Also grab some lichen, some moss, start throwing that on the trees. Remember, these are tall trees. You're not going to see the canopy of these trees. You're just kind of implying that they just go up on and on forever up in the sky. So all you're really worried about is the roots and the base of the tree and maybe some lichen. Our big tree in the middle, we did decide to put some branches off, and I really think that helps sell the piece overall. Now at this stage, we felt there was something missing. We kind of left it sit for a little while, and we came back in a few days, and we realized there wasn't enough underbrush. There wasn't enough bushes lying around. So we were at a home store, and we found these plants, and we just took them apart, and we grabbed the airbrush out, and we kind of gave them a dark brown for the base, and then kind of worked our way up from the dark brown to a very light green, just airbrushing different colors on them, trying to get the right feel. Any plants you find at any of the hobby stores, just, you know, ones that look great when you can tear them apart. These plastic, grab some scissors and just start tearing them apart, because they're going to make great bushes. And then all we took was a just kind of a long screw and screwed holes in there and stuffed the bushes down in with a little bit of glue. It turned out perfect, as you're going to see here, that it adds so much more to the board now that these you know, these bushes are there. It really kind of gave life to the bottom of the board, the base of the board. Then of course we painted the edges black to kind of give it a final look. Did I mention how happy we are with how this board turned out? It's amazing. So awesome. These 2-foot boards are great for centerpieces for your armies. They're great for small skirmish battles. They're even great for just kind of smaller games or just RPG games to kind of get your players just super excited. Like, this could be a centerpiece of a major campaign that you're doing. I mean, the possibilities are endless. First, I threw on my Infinity figures because damn do I love Infinity, and Ariadna, Caledonian Highlanders running through here against some invading Eugen armies just seems so cool. And then next up, of course, I had to grab some of my D&D RPG miniatures and put them on the forest. Giant ogre and skeletons versus a ranger and a high elf running through this deep forest, coming across. Maybe they were looking for you know, an ancient source of power, or maybe they were looking for the heart of the forest. I mean, I love putting these miniatures on the board. Everything just comes so alive seeing them on it. And of course, since I was rummaging through all my miniatures to put on this board, how could I not bring out my Clan War army of goblins and crane? Oh, could you imagine this being the forest outside the crablands, and the goblins have broken through the wall and they're in the forests. Crane armies coming in as one last stand to try to stop this invading goblin army. Even as just a display board for your massive army of, you know, wood elves or goblins or whatever, this is just cool. It's just a fun piece, centerpiece for when everyone comes over and starts playing games. You can, you know, show off your board with this, show off your army with this amazing board. And how could you not think of the forest moon of Endor? My fellow adventurer and I did not have any Star Wars miniatures, so actually for this project we grabbed a pair of the Stormtrooper speeder bikes and painted them up and threw them on the board, and even crafted a tiny little Ewok just to go along because, I mean, it's Star Wars. Of course we did. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Big shout out to my fellow adventurer, my wife, who helped with this board. If you have a chance to craft with a loved one, a friend, or anybody, take it. Crafting alone, pretty good hobby. Crafting together,